If this is your first time learning about Avengers vs. X-Men, let me prepare you. You need to buckle up your seatbelts because there is total non-stop action in this video. And if you read this before, let me take you back a trip down memory lane of the slugfest of epic proportion. My name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We are continuing our coverage of Avengers vs. X-Men with round 3. Our story starts off with a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier hovering above Utopia, which is an island off the coast of San Francisco where the X-Men, half the X-Men, reside at. It's a long story, not really, it is kind of relevant to the story. I'll explain it later. The narration explains it best. It says it's 2:38 p.m. on a Tuesday, the last moment before all hell breaks loose. So Storm's like, Scott, what have you done? And he's like, what I had to do, Aurora. Do you see what they got? They got a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier. You don't show up with a S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier looking to talk. They're looking for a fight. And I'm sorry, but I agree on Scott with this one. He has a point. You don't show up to peace negotiations with a gun. You just don't do that. So then Storm's like, well, these are the Avengers we're talking about. The Avengers. Let me see if I can talk to them. And Namor's like, we are way past that. So then Magneto, of all people, I want to emphasize what he says. He goes, you must choose your next actions carefully, Scott. Are you sure this is the fight that we want? I remember the first time I read this. This is the exact thought that was in my head. This is Mag-freaking-Neto saying this. This man has made all the bad decisions. So if you're going to listen to anybody, it might be him. This man got a body count in the hundreds of thousands, possibly the millions. Like, the original Breaking Bad is not Walter White or Heisenberg. It is Magneto, Eric Lyncher. So then Scott's like, we're the ugly stepchildren. That's how they always looked at us. That's how they always treated us. And now that we have a Messiah, all they want to do is take her away. No, I've made the right decision. Protect Hope at all costs. And then Storm's like, God help us. She didn't say, Goddess help us, or by the goddess. No. She said God, one God, G-O-D. Help us, please. Now, the Avengers are also jumping to their own conclusions. So Spider-Man's like, Avengers vs. X-Men, this is really happening. And Iron Fist seems to be the only one that really has his head on straight, because he's like, hold on, time out. Ain't there children down there? And by the way, yes, there is. So the Iron Man's like, so he's playing us, making us look like bullies. He's just delusional Scott is. So Luke Cage is like, I ain't know Cyclops was so damn crazy. And Wolverine standing right next to him was like, I've been trying to tell anybody who would listen about this. But forget that, we need to get down there. And all of a sudden somebody says, incoming, it's a magnetic fastball special. Yes, Magneto is hurling Colossus to the helicarrier because Magneto asks, are you sure you want to do this? Once he got confirmation, Magneto's a hitter. That's exactly who you want to your side. He was like, all right, let's strap up and do this. And as Colossus goes through the helicarrier, it says all hell is officially broken loose. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the time when Colossus had the Crimson Gem of Sidorak, which normally Juggernaut has. So he is the unstoppable Colossus at this time. So somebody, I don't know who, I'm guessing Spider-Man, says he's going to crash the helicarrier. I knew it. These things always crash. So then Colossus is like, you shouldn't have come here. And he starts wrecking more shop. So all of a sudden, all you hear is, so you're the strongest one there is on Utopia, huh? And it's the Red Hulk. And he says, well, I'm the strongest one there is, period. And he hits Colossus in the back. He hit him so hard that the end of the helicarrier just breaks off and the heroes just fall into the ocean. And in the narration box, it says that hit was so hard that it shattered windows miles away and the San Andreas fault shuddered. So as the heroes are falling in the ocean, they did Black Widow dirty. How they gonna have her ass sticking out the ocean? They got her top half in and her bottom half out. So as they're in the water, all of a sudden all you hear is Avengers, your actions today have been reckless and foolhardy. And we see his Namor, and he knocked the bejesus out of Ben Grimm. So all of a sudden Luke Cage swims over and goes, you ain't the only one that can throw it right. And he knocks the hell out of Namor. And now they're in the ocean going at it. So Doctor Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Woman, who can fly, are flying. Cyclops is trying to hit him with his Optic Blast, and all of a sudden all you see is a red, white, and blue shield come out of nowhere and knock the hell out of Cyclops. And in the narration bubble it says this is the first of today's concussions. So now you got the Avengers, who are still in the sea, but at least they're like in standing water, and Captain America goes take the beach. Cyclops goes driving back into the sea, and it looks like a scene like straight out of Civil War, the movie, not the comic book. Eventually we're gonna cover that comic book too. So now we cut to inside Utopia. You got the young students being trained by Emma Frost. They're looking on, they're pretty much jumping to their own conclusions, and they're wondering they're going to get arrested. And all of a sudden Emma comes in with Hope and pretty much tells them to keep our Hope and keep her safe. So Emma Frost is walking back out to the fight, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna end this in like 30 seconds. And the only reason why it'll take that long is if I decide to take a nap in between. She's pretty much gonna use her powers to knock everybody out. As she's walking out, her future husband has other plans. Because at the time recording, she's married to Iron Man. So Tony pretty much hits her with some nanites that pretty much neutralizes her telepathy. Emma just takes her diamond form and then punches Tony Stark in the stomach, and in the narration box it says organic diamond meets multi-billion-dollar armor, the most expensive punch in history. So the Iron Man's like, you need to tell your boyfriend that we're not here to arrest a girl, we just want to help. So the Emma's like, well, for one, you need to learn the girl's name. Her name is Hope, and I don't remember asking you for your help. So then all of a sudden his suit goes, warning, magnetic field detected. He goes, for the love of God, what? Oh yeah, I forgot. Hi there. And it's Magneto. So now Iron Man is trying to fight Magneto, which is probably not going to go so well. And we see it's being broadcasted on TV. We cut to elsewhere and we see Pedro, Quicksilver, is watching the telecast, and he goes, this is our fight. We need to go. I'm going. Please come with me. So on the next page, it shows Pedro running over the ocean, and it says 347 miles and 3.7 seconds. And he pops the hell out of Magneto, talking about, hello, father. I see you're up to your old tricks again. And Magneto's on the ground bleeding, talking about, Pedro, once a fool's boy, always a fool's boy. At least tell me you didn't drag your sister into this. Speaking of her, we switch back. He was talking to her. She starts watching the telecast. She turns off the TV, and then she just starts walking away, and we see a book with a picture of the Phoenix. So then Domino is sitting there, and she's like, oh God, I never thought I'd see the day that Wolverine would stand against his own people. And then Wolverine's like, well, maybe if you pull your heads out of Cyclops' ass once in a while, you'll see that I'm here trying to save the damn world. Where's Hope? And Sunspot's like, go to hell, traitor. So then we see Black Panther, and all you hear is, you should have told me this was happening. And it's Storm. So then T'Challa's like, you should have told me you had a 6-year-old that could blow up the planet. And Storm's like, T'Challa, we need to end this. And he's like, there's only one way this ends, my love. And Storm's like, stubborn, pig-headed man, this is exactly why we're in marriage counseling. And I'm not gonna lie, at the time we're recording, Storm is about to join the Avengers, and the first thing that came to my mind is, what are her and Black Panther gonna talk about? I can't wait. So then we cut back to Hope, and she's like, we gotta get down there, we gotta stop this. And they're like, no, you heard Miss Frost. Besides, those are the Avengers down there, we better lead us to the big guns. So Hope's like, you're right. Sorry about your nose, Lori. And she goes, what? And Hope sends a back elbow that lands flush. And in the narration box it says, 4th broken nose in the past 8 minutes. So the Hope's like, you don't understand. The Avengers are going to war with the X-Men over me. That tells me that I'm the biggest gun there is. So Cyclops, fresh off of his concussion, is hitting Captain America with his Optic Blast. He's blocking with a shield. Captain America's like, I've known you for a long time, Scott. I've never seen you act so foolish. So then Cyclops was like, and I've never known Captain America to be on the side of fascism. Captain America's like, look, we're just here to help. Like, you remember what it did to Jean, right? And Cyclops was like, you don't have to remind me of what happened to my dead wife. It seems like ever since I've been reading comics, Jean dies once a decade. And Cyclops was always talking about, quit talking about my dead wife. So the Cyclops was like, if you really wanted to help, you should have came and talked to me instead of consulting with the lunatic friends. And he hits Wolverine right in the back of the head with an Optic Blast. I mean, back then, especially back then, these two were beefing hard, like Hendrik and Drake. So the Captain America's like, look, what you're doing is endangering the world, your people included. So in this, before somebody gets hurt, Cyclops hit on another optic blast and goes, it's too late for that. So Captain America is blocking it with his shield. He pushes through and then he pushes down Cyclops. So then we see Red Hulk and Unstoppable Colossus still fighting on the helicarrier. You got Thing trying to get some get back on Namor with Luke Cage's help. You got Iron Man on the beach. He's fighting Phantom X. I think that's Phantom X. Pretty sure it's Phantom X. If it's not Phantom X, please let me know in the comments, but I think that's Phantom X. So the Captain America is like, I never wanted this, Scott. Neither should you. Tell your people to stand down. Think of hope. Don't make us take her by force. So the Cyclops goes, magic, back door. She goes, understood. And Captain America is like, Steven, because I have her. And he goes with her to Limbo, which is a mistake. Like magic, you might as well put her in the category with like Mephisto and Dormammu. They are really strong when they're on Earth, but when they're in their own dimension, whew, they are all powerful. So then Danger, yes, that's like the sentient danger room. It's a long story and we ain't got time to get into it right now. She's pretty much telling Cyclops that Tony Stark is pretty much doing his hacking thing and pretty much going to bring down the defenses. Cyclops like, no, we just need to hold them all just long enough so we can get Hope off the island. And he looks around and goes, where is he? And he's talking about Wolverine. So then we see Wolverine on like the backside of the island. He's going into like a drainage ditch and Spider-Man's with him. Spider-Man's like, oh, so I guess we got to go to the sewers. And Wolverine's like, nobody told you to come. He was like, well, it must have slipped my mind. Besides, somebody should be here who's a bit less stabby. So then we cut to Hope. She pretty much beat everybody down. She goes, I'm sorry, I didn't want anybody to get hurt. Somebody goes, it's a bit too late for that. She goes, you don't understand. The closer it gets, the more I feel it. The more I feel the power building inside me. So Spider-Man and Wolverine get there. Spider-Man's like, why is she on fire? Wolverine's like, get out the way. And Spider-Man's like, what are you about to do? He's like, what needs to be done. Now, during the Dark Phoenix saga, Wolverine's the one who eventually stabbed Jean to pretty much kill her and to stop the Phoenix. So this is something he's done before. He loved Jean. He don't know Hope. All he knows is that the Phoenix is bad news and he needs to go ahead and stab this girl. But Hope has other plans as he stops him dead in his tracks and sets Wolverine on fire. Captain America and Cyclops get there at the exact same time to see Wolverine burning. So Spider-Man's knocked out, Wolverine is a crispy critter, and Hope is flying away. So then we cut to deep space and you got Beast, and he's sitting there and he's like, here it comes, Avengers. And the first time I read this, I'm like, damn, I like War Machine, I like Thor, I like Vision. I'm like, I don't want them to die, because Thor goes, stand fast, my friends. Today is as good as any day to die. As we see the Phoenix standing in front of him, and it says 3:45 p.m. on a Tuesday, the moment all hope was officially lost.